Boom. Welcome back to another episode of Sage Ramble TV. It's episode 14, another rapid fire Q&A, by the way. So we've assembled the Avengers, all the questions that we're going to go through. Put a timer on 30 seconds on each and every one of those questions. So we go through all of them and we'll just go from there, man. Let's just shoot out our next. Oops. You cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording. All right, that's bullshit. All right, I'm gonna bring out the questions. You ready?
Yep, let's do it, man.
All right, question number one that comes from a good friend of ours. How to uncover what someone truly means when they say something.
How to uncover what someone truly means when they say something.
I just copy pasted it.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start my timer because I've got a good example here. Okay, so my timer's fucking up and I don't want to drag this on. So basically, I'm gonna give an example for me. Okay, 30 seconds, go. Okay, so how to uncover what someone truly means when they say something. So when somebody, I'm just gonna give an example here because that's very vague. There could be 100 things there. When someone says it's too expensive, right? What we need to do is first we need to define what they mean. Like, what do you mean too expensive? Like, what part specifically are you referring to, right? Because they might mean that, there's not value attached. We got to understand that. Or they might mean it's too expensive for them, right? So what I like to do is what part specifically? Damn, that was 30 seconds already. Shit. Okay. Well,
use my 30 seconds.
Give me like 15 more seconds. So what I like to do is, what part specifically, right? And then they'll tell me and then kind of figure out where that goes. And then what I do from there is, okay, so is this a matter of, hey, Chance, my product's 10K. Hey, Chance, is this a matter of I have 10K, but I don't want to spend it, or I don't have 10K, and if I did, I would join, right? Because that gives them a binary option. And if they have 10K and they don't want to spend it, that's a whole different conversation. You didn't do your job, right? Or it's a little bit of fear. It could be one of two things. If they don't have 10K, then they meant, hey, it's too expensive for me. That's my example. I went a minute. I'm sorry, David, your turn. You can go, buddy.
No, I was pretty much holding on to the same question on the sales conversation. Like if they say it's too expensive, well, is that compared to like a Gucci store? Is that compared to Walmart? Right. But yeah, I'm not gonna go on a ramble on the same thing. Damn it, I can't minimize Zoom. Shit. Anyways, I'll move on to the next question. Over time in your guys' journey, what are some ways you structure your day to get the most done? For context, this is a new sales rep starting an appointment setting gig. I think it said next week or the week after.
How do I structure my day to get the most done? I like to block out my entire day, right? Even if it's leisure time. So I've got 2 hours in the morning. I told you this, David. I got a morning routine that takes about 2 hours, some exercise, walking the dog, some meditation, eating. I usually work for 6 to 8 hours, depending on what my call volume looks like. And that's not just taking sales calls, that's personal work as well. And then I like to have a little bit of leisure time in the evening, whether that's hanging out with my family, whether that's watching a little TV, listening to podcasts, reading a book. For me, to get the most done, because I have ADHD, I have to have it in my face. I put all that on my calendar. So even if it's like play video games, I put an hour on my calendar, play video games, right? Or for us, upload shorts. I have to put that on my calendar, upload shorts to have it in my face. That's my answer.
Yep. So I'm gonna keep it short to keep all the daily habits and routine out because you kind of covered that. And approaching a work day. I usually just start off in the morning. I journey. I journal. So I write down my goal and I write down my objective for the day. And I, look out the entire schedule from morning to evening. Is there any gaps in my schedule? Can I fill that with something else? I make sure to time block. That's an important thing within my calendar. Like Chan said, have everything set out. Now, time block. That means, you want to be able to do discovery calls all in one roll, maybe in a 3-hour block, and then 4 hours of cold calling, and not go on and off. Do 3 discovery calls, and then you do a couple of cold dials because there's a full gap. I would rather structure all the calls within 3 hours in the morning, and then the rest of the evening in a row. I don't need to stop and jump on the call, and then go back to getting in my zone of doing dials. So that's pretty much how to get more effective. Let's move on to the next question. That was more than 30 seconds. I felt that.
Hey, no worries, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. We're going to get better.
So what is the daily routine that set you up to succeed in your first sales role?
Okay, daily routine that set me up to succeed in my first sales role. So
That's your yoga, bro.
I started out as a setter. So to start my daily routine, I wake up. I like to do positive affirmations, write down 5 to 10 things that I'm grateful for. Make me realize that my life is a lot better than a lot of people realize, right? Because I live in a first world country. We complain about a lot of bullshit things. I got a morning routine. I do some yoga. I meditate. And then for me personally, after I got through all my morning stuff, God damn it, 30 seconds already. Shit. I would like to go over my goals, right? Make me understand or help me realize why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then I tackled my day, right? So I started out as a setter. The beautiful thing about a setter is if you put your phone aside and you hyper focus, you can get your days done of work in like 4 hours. Now, if you want to overachieve, you can, right? But as a setter, you don't have to work for 8 hours. Like closers, sometimes we have to take 8 calls if we get booked out. Setters don't have to. That's my answer.
Yep. So pretty much how I would start off my morning. It's I wake up, brain freeze. That's my 30 seconds. Anyways, I wake up, I meditate right away as I'm nodding off sleep, because that's the kind of like best frequency to be on. If you were to, go into, being calm, handle stress, concentration, and just practice that, being able to concentrate, get into that state in a faster pace than others will do in 10 minutes, you'll get it done within 3. And then I go into reading. I like to read something. I like to, study in the morning. No one's awake. I usually sit down with an audiobook. I walk around the house, get some movement in, get some blood flowing. Then I go about a 1-hour workout. Now, mostly people like to have the workout later in the evening because they feel like they're drained everything in the morning. But I like it in the morning, so I do it. It keeps me awake. In the morning, I create content. That's why I work out in the morning. And then after my workout, all sweaty, I do a 30-minute visualization. I imagine myself 3 years from now, and then it all goes from there. And, that's like, what, an hour and a half done. And 30 minutes, you can do whatever you want before you, start working. You were smiling at me, bro. What was I going on for, like 30? 30 minutes?
No, it's because you said all sweaty.
All right. Did I?
Yes. It just cracked me up. You're like, after the workout, all sweaty.
All right. Yeah, I didn't even notice it myself. All right, let's move on. So I already answered this question with the video we posted today with the 5 mindsets, but I'm asking you the question now. What is the one mindset that accelerated your growth as an appointment setter?
The one mindset. Can you clarify a little bit?
Like the one, I guess like focus point or focus state you put yourself in to get the work done.
So what helped me, and my story is unique. I've said this a couple of times on our episodes. It's going to be different than probably it's not the answer what you guys are looking for, but what helped me is I put my back against the wall, right? So I had to make it work, or I was going to lose my apartment, and I was going to lose my car, and I was going to lose my relationship, which I lost anyways, but that's another story for another day. So I had to make it work. So I was doing whatever it took. I guess I don't want to say a scarcity mindset. I can't think of the term, but yeah, my back was against the wall. Like mentally, it was make it or break it, fight or flight, right? I had to break through or I had to crumble and give up, right? So that's what I attribute my success to as a setter. Obviously, yours is different, David, but.
Yeah, I mean, I uploaded a video about it today, and it goes very similar in line to getting angry, right? I mean, if you're stuck at a position for like 6 months and nothing has ever changed, but you wish the change was there, you need to just get fucking angry and put in the work in. Because once you get into that state, right? I mean, you can even compare it to being in the gym. Being angry in the gym, you're instantly lifting more. You're having more adrenaline, you're having more power, you're having more drive, and all that, and the same mindset can translate to doing sales. But
No,
pretty much your mindset is like burning the boats, making sure there's no escape routes.
I agree completely. Well, what you said there reminds me of this video. And I don't know if we'll be able to hear it because I'll play it through my phone. But
you got to be fucking tired
We'll
of
get
not
copyrighted.
number one. You have to be, and you got to fucking play angry. The thing that has worked for me is to remember.
Yeah, dude. I didn't hear shit, but
you didn't
that's
hear
the
it?
rock. We can put something on the screen
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we are able to.
Edit the video on there. It's a TikTok. He says at some point you got to be tired of not being number one, and you got to get angry. You just got to play fucking angry, right? So
That's the role model right there. Let's move on. Oops. Uh,
next,
Next. This is a big one. I'm gonna challenge you to keep it under 30 seconds. Gonna be impossible. What are your preferred ways to source your own leads, and how do you go about doing it?
okay, my preferred ways to source my own leads. It depends on the offer I'm on. The offer I'm on right now, we have like 64,000 leads inside of our CRM. That's plenty of enough sourcing for me, right? On one of my last offers, we had 2 free Facebook groups for both of our offers that had tens of thousands of members, and we had tons of leads. So I would snipe the Facebook group and I would snipe the CRM. And then I've also heard of people like hiring appointment setters to source leads from different groups as well. I've never had that experience. That's my 30 seconds.
Cool, man. So, in my marketing gig, I pretty much had the same. We had what was it, like not 14,000. It was a little bit less, like 6,000 people that bought into a course, watched at least 2-3 hours of our content. I sniped a lot of people from there. Just kept dialing on the auto dialer, and I pretty much filled my own calendar without appointment setters. And the second one that I started doing in my second month of appointment setting overall, in my overall experience, was LinkedIn. I took over the owner's LinkedIn Sales Navigator, and I was able to filter through second, third, and first connection. And on LinkedIn Sales Navigator's super nice features, you're able to see who's active or not, right? You're able to see inactive profiles for years, months back. Just hit the ones that are active, and increase your chances of possibly getting a lead from that, or getting a call, getting one prospect, whatever you want to put it. That's my 30 seconds, maybe. This is from the same person. I'm in BizOp, similar to Chance. How do I self-generate warm leads and only qualified customers? What is the sales process, call flow, 1 call, 2 call, 3 call? As this offer, we send a contract, and wiring information is in the contract. Onboarding is automated.
Okay, so this is multiple questions. So
Yeah.
it's going to have to be longer than 30 seconds. I got to read this question. I'm in BizOp offer similar to Chance. How do I self-generate warm leads and only qualified customers? Okay, so how do you self-generate warm leads and only qualified customers? Well, first of all, you got to understand that not everybody is a warm lead, right? Our job is to basically turn them into a warm lead. I would have to know more about your process in terms of if you have a CRM with leads, if you have a Facebook group, if you're just calling random people. But I'll give you an example of my offer and how I do it. So all 64,000 people in our CRM have opted into being reached out to by us. They've either filled a form out or whatever it may be. Some of them have been on a closing call. Some of them have turned us down. There's interest there, right? And we have what we call a reactivation campaign that goes out every morning at 11 a.m. to a select handful of leads. Every day we recycle through. Ones that respond that they're interested, right? I then text back and forth a couple of times to set up a call. I call them and I go through a setting call, right? Now I've got a setter as well that does some of this for me. But if you have to self-generate, you got to be good at setting, right? You got to be good at understanding what qualifies a prospect. And for you, because everybody's sales process is different, what you look for in qualifying a prospect. For me, I look for time, money, and urgency, right? Do they have the time to do this? Do they have the finances to do this? And do they have some urgency, right? Because some people, they passed on us for a reason, right? Or they are doing well and they don't need us, and they're just wasting everybody's time, right? So again, I would have to know more about, because you just asked what is the sales process? Like, everybody's sales process is different. Were they asking like the timeline?
No,
No.
no.
No, so like what is the sales process? Like my sales process?
I guess like the general one.
Call flow? Okay, so I'm gonna take it. Sorry, it's just a little confusing. I'm gonna take it they mean the setting call, right? How do I self-generate warm leads and only qualified customers? What is the sales process? So like I said, when I set somebody, I look for those three things, but I take them through a very similar to any PQ style of a setting call. So I want to know their current situation. I want to know if they're problem aware, right? If not, I got to figure out what the problem is, what the pain is, and then solution awareness, right? I got to paint us as a solution and get them excited for the next call. And then there's a little bit of, just bullshit chit chat in there to connect and build some rapport, right? My setting calls are usually about 10 minutes. And then from there, I go into the closing call, which I just released a video that gave my sales process on that. I'd be more than welcome to share that. But essentially, my sales process for a closing call is desired outcome, right? What they're doing to get there, how long they've been doing it. And there are multiple subsections here, so I'm not going to spend 20 minutes and break all this down. Future pace, consequence, bridging to the pitch, objection handle if you have to, and then closing, right? Again, I'm planning on giving some of my sales process out. I've dropped a video about that. Maybe I'll drop it to people who comment. What was the other question here? Call flow. I think I just kind of answered that. 1 call, 2 call, 3 calls, etc. Is this offer? We send a contract and wiring information is in the contract. Onboarding is automated. Yeah. So if it's a biz op, I mean, the goal is 1 call close. Now, I mean, if you're talking like a $40,000 biz op, yeah, you might have to do a couple of calls, but you want a 1 call close, and we send a contract and wiring information is in the contract. That's a little unique. Normally, I close and I collect payment. You don't send it to them. I'd be interested to hear from this person, because that's a lot of questions, bro.
Yeah, I'll send you the contact, bro. We'll just move on to the next guy, because there's a lot of.
I tried to answer that the best I could, but that was a lot of questions.
Yeah, man. Let's just move on, man.
Moving forward, hang on real quick. Moving forward, if you guys can do us a favor, add a little bit more of context behind your questions, right? Because what is the sales process? I mean, dude, fuck. Like, come on. I don't mean to pick on this one person, but that's a little bit vague.
It's like a doctor asking. It's like asking a doctor online, "Is my leg broken?"
Yeah, right. Literally. I don't feel good. Am I dying?
Oh man. All right. Let's just move on so we get some value out. What are your tips for someone new that wants to start networking?
I love this. Very quick. I just talked about this in my presentation. When you start networking, value in, value out, right? That's in my opinion, there's 100 networking strategies out there that, you can use to tactically weigh in opportunities, blah, blah, blah. But value in, value out. You need to provide value before you demand value back. Again, my opinion, that's what's worked for me. And when I say value, I mean like real value, not like, hey, David, I saw your podcast, man. Great episode. I'm a new closer. Do you know of any opportunities? Like, provide them some value, right? Help them out. Do what you can, right? Yeah, I mean, that's to keep it under 30 seconds. I'm gonna stop there. I can go on and on.
Yep. To build upon, the value in, value out, because that's both of our values. A couple of people will ask, well, what is that value? How do I give value to this high level person when I'm nowhere around his level? And it's simple. You can just ask this person. You can find other ways of, if he's a business owner, what does a business owner need? new customers, lead flow, feedback on how others consume their program, the aesthetics. Who knows, man? There's a bunch of stuff, right? If someone texts me and say, dude, I learned a lot of stuff from your podcast, and they show me what exactly, how we, presented it, for that person to consume and absorb, the value that we put out, the info that we put out, I find that super valuable. That's like the top of my list now. So it's very simple. So the number one skill is just being resourceful around networking, resourceful around adding value, find other ways, find creative ways. There's ways you can Google. How can I add value to this other person? How to win friends and influence people. It's all there. The summary of the book is all there in 10 points. You can do it. As someone who is in a sales training program and wants to be a closer, how do you get a role without life experience or sales experience?
Yeah, I mean,
that goes very aligned to the networking. I mean, if you have the relationship and someone wants to invest in you, because any individual business owner likes to invest. And if you look at yourself as a business owner, you're pretty much like an asset. It's like a stock. You're an asset. And if you're a good asset, then, many people will take that risk, plug you into the system. That's pretty much the answer.
100%. The biggest piece of advice I could give is value in, value out. You provide value to people, you're going to be at top of mind when it comes to referrals, experience or not, as long as you can close, right? And the biggest thing that I've seen to work is if it's not already going this way, offer a trial period, right? Say, hey, I'll come on, I'll take 3 leads a day for 2 weeks, right? If I don't hit a certain threshold, I'm can't, right? Because it's a win-win. The business owner spends limited money on you, and if you close people, fuck, they make money, you make money, you stay on the team, right? If you don't, oh well, they move on to the next guy, right? I mean, there's no loser there, right? And that's a strategy that I've seen to work really, really well.
Yeah. And it's just like being a connector, right? Like we talk about a lot about this, and that's increasing your connections with other top performers. And when they represent you, or you send someone in a way where you're not gonna take that opportunity because it's not for you, could be that person represents you, and as a guy with surrounding other top performers, you'll instantly be seen as one, or at least at the top before you really prove yourself. But I've sent over, to give an example, I've sent over 19 people to one recruiting company, and I've never asked for anything in return. They eventually turned around and asked me to join their company. Like, they're actually a recruiting firm coaching companies. And there's another example with a new player in the streets, not in the streets, but in the game, in the streets, in the game. I've sent him 14 people, and I pitched him. He didn't turn back to me, but I pitched him on joining his team. And he's like, dude, I'm on a ski trip right now. Let me return. We'll have a chat. This guy's working with 8-figure companies. I walked straight into the door by just knowing people. Anyways, let's move on. How do you keep consistent energy every day?
Well, I have ADHD, so I have energy all day, every day. And I also drink energy drinks. So,
bro, you got Prime?
Yeah, bro, Prime energy. This one's empty. I already drank it. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's easy. I've got attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, so I'm like always fucking jolted and ready to go. I'll let David take this one because I don't know if he has that.
No, I don't. And well, optimizing energy every day is quite an important question, especially for because we've talked a lot about this, like closers, setters being on long days. Like, for example, a 9-figure company you spoke with, 2-hour-long presentation calls. You got to be able to manage your energy to be able to withstand 5 of those a day, right? But pretty much, it's pretty much the same routine. I go with the meditation. Meditation in the gym is where I get the most amount of energy. And I just have this belief of, you can do as much as you want, trying to optimize your energy day in and day out. There will be days where you'll feel down. it may not be because of your energy, but because of your brain, your mindset, or something else that makes you feel like shit. But at the same time, if you feel like shit, your energy is up, you'll most likely not do it anyways. So there's more important factors than just the energy itself. But yeah, meditation and working out, keeping your body healthy is two of the most important things that I do. All right, I can't minimize Zoom, so let's move on to another question. We've been here for a little bit. We haven't even gone through half of the questions.
Yeah, we've been going for about 30 minutes. I mean, we can go for another few minutes. Definitely keep it under 40 minutes. And then, I mean, we can do another Q&A.
Let's take another question. One more question.
We got 4 more questions. I mean, if we keep it 30 seconds, we can power through.
All right. Let's keep it short. Is there a realistic income to shoot for in remote high ticket sales? I see a lot of bullshit. I guess that's bullshit thrown around, and want to make sure my transition is not reliant on a fairy tale dream.
Yeah. So again, I'm not picking on this person. The fact that they phrased it that way lets me know that there's some limiting belief, some limiting mindset there. And I would challenge a reframe. You can make as much as you fucking want to make in this world. I know closers that are making $1 million a year in straight comps, right? I also know closers that are making 4K a month because they're cool with making 4K a month, right? What I would say is whatever you want to make, shoot higher than that, right? And I'm a firm believer of this. Let's say your goal, everybody's goal is 10K a month, right? Don't shoot for 10K because if you fall short, you're going to be upset, right? What I say is if your goal is 10K, shoot for 20K. Because if you put in the time and the effort it takes to truly get to 20K, you're probably going to make more than 10K. Because if you fall short on 20K, oh, you made 15K. Boo-hoo. You still went above your original goal. I just timed myself. That was 30 seconds. I'm going
to. Yeah, it's very much the same, man. I remember back when I was an appointment setter, I was like, the coach asked me how much I need to eventually, sustain myself. I was like 3K. He's like, all right, so let's shoot for something higher. Let's shoot for 5, right? Because that's a stretch. We eventually wrote down 5 on the paper, and I eventually hit 5, but 3 was the initial goal, right? So shoot higher. You might land on that higher, even if it's 5, you might land on 7 and be at 7. Obviously, if you're at 7, then good for you. But yeah, you're still past that range. All right. Short and sweet. Let's go. The first time. What are some ways I can improve my sales game? We are having weekly training calls, but I want to do more.
Yeah. I don't know the context behind this question. Again, guys, please add a little bit more here. I would say if the weekly training calls aren't enough, meet with some buddies and role play. I don't like role plays. It's not really my thing. I feel like they're kind of unrealistic scenarios, but they help a lot of people, right? Meet with some buddies and role play. If not, and I'm a firm believer of this, find somebody who has made way more money than you want to make. See if they offer a mentorship. I know nobody likes to invest their money. It's hard. It's terrible. Whoa, boo-hoo, right? However, you're going to learn a shortcut, and you're going to learn things and ways from these people to get to a higher apex than what you're hitting. That was 30 seconds. I'm done.
Boom. Building on top of that is call reviews. It's very easy to
damn it.
You might be able to hit up your sales manager or someone else on your team to review your calls, because if he's the one, if you are the setter, a closer will most likely want to review calls, right? Because you're setting calls on his calendar, and having him a little bit like controlling the process to his fitting is nice to have. Even the business owner, same thing. Moving on to the next one. When do you drop the price on a sales call or in a sales process? I've seen before and after the pitch, and other in questionnaires and other in triage calls. But when is the right moment?
Great question. Depends on the prospect. The answer to this depends on the prospect. 100%. You're not going to price drop me how you price drop David. You're not going to price drop David how you price drop fucking anybody else, right? Every sales call is unique. I'll just give an example. When people, like, I had a guy last week on my setting call. He asked me what the price was. We talked about it for a minute and basically boiled down to he has money. He's not scared to invest. He wants to know what it is so he can prepare his bank account, move the funds around for when we got on the call the next day to close them. I told him we have a $3,500 package. We have a $10,000 package. Here's the differences between the two. Well, I want the $10,000 package, but I don't have $10,000 sitting around. Do you guys have payment plans? Yeah. Asked a couple of questions, reframed, made sure it was actually, hey, I don't have the money. We agreed on a 4K times 3 payment plan because he had $4,000, right? Everybody's different. There are prospects that I wait to price drop till before the pitch, right? I want to, if they're super price sensitive, I'll let them know, hey, we're going to get there, right? I go through my discovery and make sure that they're actually bought in and they actually want our help before I price drop. Because people who don't really want your help, they're going to get sticker shock and then they're just going to want to jump off the call. A little longer than 30 seconds, but that question needed it.
Summed it all up there. And on a questionnaire, I know some other people are doing it that way. I mean, very simple on questionnaires. Most similar one is like, hey, if we were able to get you to this destination, would you be willing to invest? That could be, in sales questionnaires. If we were able to get you to, $5,000 a month, would you be, are you even willing to invest in a program to reach that destination? Or some other people are giving the range or product range anything from 25 to 50,000. Is that a yes, I'm willing to invest? Yes, I have credit. No, I don't have any of it. Then disqualify, push people out, right? Move on to the next one. The last one. How do you keep yourself accountable to a routine day in and day out?
How do I keep myself accountable to a routine day in and day out? I just fucking do it. I don't know what you're looking for there, man. You just do it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, David. I don't want to just sit here and ramble, so I'll let you take that one, buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna smash this person too. But pretty much in my early days, there will be I had a lot of internal pressure and very, very high standards when I first started out. So, a couple of times I would, up the stakes a little bit. If I were needed to maybe sit to 3 a.m. and make dials hit my goals, I would sometimes say, hey, I need to hit this point or I'm going to jump naked in a cold lake. So I would put those almost like challenges in front of me. Hey, if I don't do this, I'll go on a freaking 10 kilometer. I know you guys don't use kilometer, but I'll go on a 10 kilometer. That's like 8 miles, 8 US miles, like 10 kilometer, 8 miles march with full backpack and gear because I used to train very similar military training. I was like, hey, if I don't do this, I'll put myself through suffering this weekend and get myself more disciplined. So that was another thing that I used.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
it's
good,
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't for people.
Yeah, I mean, I've got that question a lot, and it's something, I mean, as I'm a coach, I need to figure out a better answer than just fucking do it. But I mean, I just don't understand that disconnect. If you know you have to do it, then why aren't you doing it? Right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if someone is like that, it's most likely is, flushed out within our own process. But yeah, I mean,
I had a call with somebody who knew he had to network, but he didn't do it and he didn't like doing it. And I basically smacked him around for like half an hour, and he is networking now and he's on an offer. So
yeah, sometimes we need that smack. I mean, we have mentors that smack us around.
Of course. And I got his approval. I was like, hey man, I'm going to be a little harsh. You cool with that? Yeah. Okay.
Boom.
Exactly. But hey man, we're running out of time here. There's like 2 minutes left on here. Like always, man, David and I appreciate everybody who tunes into these. I'm sure David's going to edit this and try and keep it kind of short so you guys aren't watching an hour pod every single time.
Oh,
like normal, man. I mean, if you like the video, like the damn video, leave us a comment any other questions you have. Leave some context, please. Just a little bit. I mean, don't send us paragraphs, but more than what's the sales process like. That's it, man. That's all I got, David.
We'll leave it right here and we'll peace out. By the way, yes, DM says if you want Chance's video on his sales process, by the way, the comment says in the chat, and we'll send it over. It's 3 easy steps to make 10K a month, and we'll end it right here. Now we peace out. Boom.